Get a jump on your fresh start. Time to get your money right. We talking dollars, talking cents, talking own instead of rent. You got questions, we got truth that you can trust. We live in proof.
We here to help you to get out of debt. Get pencil and paper, sit at your desk. It won't just happen. You must do your part. Be done with the debt and get a fresh start. Get a fresh start.
Hey everybody, this is Samuel.
And this is Kirsty with Fresh Start.
And we have some exciting news for you all.
Yes.
It's been a while. Share.
We are having a baby.
Hey.
Very excited. We're having a little girl.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And we're really excited. You know, for those of you who follow us, you know, it's just been Kirsty and I for the last, 6 years we're approaching? Our 6-year anniversary. Next month is coming up. And, you know, we've been praying and planning and wanting to have a child. And God is blessing us with that opportunity to have a baby girl.
Right. I love how you said praying and planning.
Yes.
So praying with the anticipation that God will respond, but also doing our part, which is planning and preparing for what we're praying for.
Absolutely. And it really goes in line with everything that we talk about and teach with Fresh Start Financial Education, the planning aspect of it. So us becoming debt free, for those if this is your first time watching our channel, you know, my wife and I are debt free. And our story was not just about that as the conclusion. We're trying to build and grow and not just serve ourselves, but serve others. And now we have an opportunity by God's grace to help raise a child in the ways of the Lord, in the financial teachings that we teach, and in every aspect.
Right. And that's exciting because that's one of the things that I had in mind when we were making those sacrifices and paying off debt and really striving for that goal. It wasn't just so that we didn't have to owe anybody. It was to set us up for a life that when we do start a family, it would not be stressful, it wouldn't be burdensome, and we can show them how to handle money properly and what that looks like on a day-to-day basis.
Right. And we're really excited. And
yes.
So I got a question. So speaking of the planning aspect of it, or just period, first of all, what are you looking forward to in us having our first child and our little daughter?
What am I looking forward to the most? I am looking forward to being a mother. That's always been something that's been in my heart. Coming from a big family, having an amazing mother that I love so much, that was so strong and so supportive and still is, by the way, shout out to my mom. Just watching her and seeing how much she means to me, it's always been a desire of mine to also be a mother and try to be a great example of a woman and a mother to another human being. So that's always been something that's been dear to my heart. So being a mom, being able to be an example to her, to help shape and mold her thinking and, you know, helping her to develop as it relates to her spiritual life and just in every area. I'm looking forward to so much. I feel like every time I start thinking about it, it gets overwhelming, but I'm looking forward to being a mom and really helping to raise her properly. Yeah,
I mean, I would say the same thing. I'm really looking forward to just guiding a child.
Yeah.
You know, and I always think about, I want to be for my child. You know, we all I have great mom, great dad, but we all want to raise our children in a better way than what we were raised.
Right. We always say, my mom was great or my dad was great, but I'll do this different when I become a parent.
So I'm looking forward to doing those little details and things that I wish I would have had this. I wish I would have done this and that, had this. And so just excited to embark on this new journey with our daughter.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Okay, all right.
So what are some of the things that we have done to prepare for becoming parents and having children even before we got pregnant?
Yes.
Because this has been an ongoing conversation for years.
Yeah.
So what are some of those things for the people that don't know us personally or maybe not have been following us already? What are some of the things that we've done to prepare for having children?
Great question. So for me, one of the things that I've done is I'm blessed to have a circle of friends, men who are husbands, who are fathers. I ask my friends. I watch their lives, and I'm not going to name anybody in particular because I don't want to forget anybody, but I got some solid brothers in my circle that love God, love their wives, and love their children. So I ask them questions and I watch their lives. Even when they don't think that I'm watching how they communicate with their children. So that's number one, watching real life examples. Number two, I think I read a lot, just trying to prepare from an intellectual standpoint. I just finished reading a book called Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters. The author is Meg Meeker. And she just provides some encouragement, but also some real statistics as far as raising a daughter in this day and age. Then it comes with some challenges. And I just feel like, when the time comes, being able to apply that. What else? Obviously, our story from a financial standpoint, managing money the way we feel God wants us to manage our funds and eliminating our debt. And that has definitely freed us up to prepare. Having some renovations at the house and just doing some things from a financial standpoint that'll allow us to welcome our daughter and to provide some of the essentials that she may need.
Right. And I think that's important too, because I think a lot of times, different things happen. People are in different spaces. But I think one thing that's really important to me, and it sounds like obviously it's important to you as well, making sure that she feels prepared for it, making sure that she sees and knows that, hey, we were thinking about you before you got here. Like, this wasn't a mistake. Like, we wanted you to be here. We made preparation for you so that you can have a good life and a good foundation to start out on.
Right. So, based on the financial principles that we teach, how will our daughter be brought into this world differently than you and I?
From a financial
standpoint,
From
yes.
a financial standpoint. So for those of you that don't know, me personally, I'll answer this question. Starting out this way, I grew up in a single parent household. Again, my mom, shout out to her. Don't know how she did it. Single parent household with 6 of us and my mom. And, she was just trying to make ends meet. She did the best that she could. We had everything that we needed and most of what we wanted. And I still can't figure out how she made it happen. Right. Obviously the grace of God and him being the ultimate provider. But that was the situation. But there were a lot of times where, I wanted to do certain things or participate in certain things or go certain places, and the finances just weren't there, you know? So one of the things that I'm thinking about as it relates to bringing our daughter into the world is that because of how we have positioned ourselves financially, I'm thankful that we'll be able to afford those opportunities for her, that she won't have to feel like she missed out on anything. That there is something that she is interested in particular, we'll be able to invest in allowing her to be exposed to it, to see if it's something that she will flourish in, thinking about sports or, the arts or, music, whatever it is that she finds herself drawn to. I want to make sure that we are in a position to be able to, push her in that and expose her to those things and give her those opportunities, because who knows what that can turn into. Right. A lot of times you see people, celebrities or just people who are really great in a particular area. A lot of times they get started really young. And I think it's important to be able to have the resources to be exposed to those things, to see, so that she can explore what she likes, That's a good point, because I think about my childhood growing up, and I love basketball to this day, and we just didn't have the funds to, for those of you who are into sports, the AAU circuit, basketball, where you're just competing against, children in your age bracket in different leagues. We just didn't really have the funds to participate in the AAU. And I feel like had I gone through that circuit, had I had that formal training and that experience, I'd be in the NBA right now, because I could hoop. How did I know that was coming? I knew that was coming.
I could hoop, and I'll give it to anybody. No, I'm just kidding. But
no, he's not.
But yeah, I am looking forward to that. When we have our daughter, if she expresses any type of interest in any extracurricular activity, sports, whatever it may be, just being in a position to at least allow her to try it.
Right. Because I think that's it. I don't want to push her into anything in particular, but if she expresses interest, I want her to be able to try it. Right. And I don't want money to be what stops her from pursuing the things that she might find enjoyment in.
Right.
So that's probably one of the biggest things. I think to go back to your question, another thing that I'm thinking about is just showing her how to handle money. So inviting her into our budget meetings.
Yeah.
You know, showing her when we sit down and pay the bills and we create the budget, you know, what's coming in and what's going out. I know a lot of parents don't show their children what's coming in and what's going out. You know I didn't see that growing up.
Right.
But I do think that it would have been helpful, because then when I became older and then I started having my own bills, it was so foreign to me. And it was my first time seeing those things and trying to figure out how do I do all of this, you know, together. Yeah. So I think if she grows up seeing what's coming in, seeing how we have to structure the budget to make everything work, seeing those bills get paid on time, seeing us be able, you know, put money in savings, seeing us be able to give generously and, you know, invest and do the different things that we are already doing.
Right.
Her being exposed to those things at a young age will make all of those different areas, I hope, I pray, easier once she becomes an adult, because it won't be foreign to her.
So with that, I mean, that brings up another question that I have in mind. Our daughter's going to be raised obviously in a totally different, because we come from the struggle. We come from the struggle, and our daughter's going to be raised in a totally different environment. How do we raise her and keep her from having and living a life with this sense of entitlement?
That's important. That's going to be important to me, because, and I know that's important to you as well, which is why you have that question.
Right, absolutely.
That's going to be important. So one of the things that, and again, these are all thoughts and ideas and ways that we have, things that we have prayed through and are, you know, hoping to be able to implement. We'll see how it plays out, you know, once we actually get into the thick of it. Yeah. But one of the things that I think is important to raise a child in a privileged environment, but to keep them from feeling that entitlement, is to instill gratitude, you know, and to expose her to situations other than her own, making sure that she's aware that her reality is not everyone's reality, to try to foster that gratitude. And one of the things some of the things that we talked through was, you know, obviously giving, serving, and earning. Yeah. So we want to, early on, as she's, you know, giving money to handle on her own, you know, things like that, we want to make sure that giving is ingrained in her. Like, we want to make sure that becomes a part of her regular money handling habits. And I think when you give money away and you see what it can do for other people, it helps to create a mindset that, hey, it's not just about me having the things that I want, you know, helping other people is important too. So definitely want to instill the principles of giving. Serving, you know, want to make sure that she knows that the world doesn't revolve around her, by exposing her to opportunities to serve other people, and put others before herself, and earning. So just because we might have the money for something doesn't mean that we just freely hand it over to her. So there'll be house chores? Absolutely. There will absolutely be house chores and ways that she can earn money. Yeah. You know, obviously there'll be things that she'll be expected to do just because she's a member of our household. Right. But I think there will be some things kind of above and beyond where we, you know, offer some compensation should she choose to do those things, opportunities to earn money. And as she is earning money, maybe then my hope with that is that she would understand the value of money, that you have to work for money, that it isn't just handed to you. So that, you know, whatever career field, or, you know, she might start her own business or whatever the case, you got to work for it. So giving, serving, earning, and gratitude. And those are, so the challenge, and we're going to have to pay attention to how we're doing. We can't share with our daughter, hey, you need to give, serve, have gratitude, and all these things if we're not showing that as an example. Right. So even more, we have to make sure that we are an example for our daughter and leading, essentially. Yeah, and I think leading in a transparent way. Right. Because I think, you know, we give, we serve, we earn, but making sure that she sees that and that she's a part of that, so that it's not, like, oh, you're making me do this, but you don't do it. You know, we don't have to. I don't want to keep her in the dark in those areas because I think it's going to be important for her to see that.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge because I'm just thinking. I like to think of practical examples. So, say for example, if our daughter asks for something and we say no, but we know in our minds that we didn't necessarily budget for that particular item. It's easy at the end of the day. It's probably just going to be easy to just to say no and not give an explanation to a little child.
Right.
But if you're really trying to instill, or if we're really trying to instill these principles, it's going to take a little effort to explain, hey, this is the reason why we're not getting this is because we didn't budget for that particular item and we can possibly get it, but let's just, either save for it or plan for that particular item. And I'm just off the top of my head, just thinking of an example of something. And just the tough, and some people really don't grasp this concept. And we want our daughter to have self-control. Because just because we may have the funds for something doesn't mean you just buy it.
Right.
Doesn't make sense.
Right.
Because then you just buy whatever you see, and that's how you end up broke. And we know because that was our lifestyle.
Yes, it was.
In the past. When we saw something, we would just buy it. So
yeah, I think that's really good. I think that's really good. Even if we have the means, being careful to not say yes to everything, and making sure that she gets into a habit of like, hey, there's something that I would like to have. Can we make sure that it gets in the budget this week?
Right.
Right. Because that's, something that we had to learn, as adults. But I think even children can grasp that if you give them the opportunity, because kids want stuff. That's something I know already,
A lot of stuff.
From even being around our nieces and nephews and children of our friends and things like that. Kids want stuff and they will do whatever it is that's necessary most of the time to get those things.
Yeah.
So if she knows, hey, in our household, when it's something that is going to cost us money, it needs to be in the budget. I think she will create a habit of making sure that those items get in the budget, or like you said, saving for them, and exercising that self-control.
Yeah. So as you can see, we're really excited and just kind of trying to figure out how we're going to parent and having conversations, and just grateful for the blessing that God has granted us. Pray for us, please.
Yes.
Please keep us in your prayer. We're a little bit past the halfway mark, right? So, and keep us in your prayer as we pray for you. And we want to continue to help you. For those of you, this is your first time watching our video, our website is freshstartfreedom.com. You can go ahead. We have a class called Fresh Start Academy where we can actually help prepare you and your family. Even if you have children already, but you're looking for a fresh start, want to do things right, and just kind of back up a little bit and get a fresh start.
Right.
Now is the time to do it. Make sure you visit our website. We're going to continue to pump out material and continue to help you in the best way that we can.
Right. And I think in light of this particular video, for those of you that are already parents, give us some advice. We don't have all the answers. We don't know everything. Right. This is our first time. So, if you guys have some things that you do with your children,
in the comment section below.
Right. Or you can check out our Facebook page, Fresh Start Financial Education. We dialogue on that page a lot. So if you guys have some tips or ideas, different things that you guys do to help your children, let us know. Give us some pointers.
Help your people out.
Right.
We love you guys, and thanks for tuning in. God bless you.